Once upon a time, in a small town shrouded in mystery, there stood an old mental hospital that had long been abandoned. Locals whispered tales of the tragic events that unfolded within its walls. Stories of infection and untimely deaths. It was said that the tormented souls of the patients still lingered, trapped in the decaying halls. One fateful night, a security guard named Samuel found himself assigned to the night shift at this desolate hospital, with trepidation weighing heavily on his heart. He entered the eerie building, armed only with a flashlight and a set of jangling keys. Samuel's mind was filled with cautionary tales, yet he was determined to prove his bravery. As he patrolled the dimly lit corridors, the silence was broken only by the distant sound of his own footsteps echoing through the empty halls. The air grew thick, carrying a chilling breeze that seemed to whisper secrets from the shadows. Samuel's heart began to race as he couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. Suddenly, a flickering light caught his attention. Curiosity compelled him to investigate, leading him to a door that creaked open with a spine-chilling groan. He stepped into a room that seemed frozen in time. Its walls adorned with faded photographs of the patients who once resided there. It was then that Samuel heard a faint voice, barely audible, calling out his name. Fear crept into his soul, but he could not resist following the ethereal sound. The voice led him deeper into the hospital, drawing him closer to the dark secrets that lay hidden within its walls. As Samuel ventured into the heart of the building, the air grew heavier, and the temperature dropped dramatically. Shadows danced menacingly on the walls, contorting into grotesque shapes that seemed to mock him. The whispers continued, growing louder and more urgent, as if begging for release from their eternal torment. Suddenly, the flickering lights overhead burst into blinding brightness, illuminating a ghastly sight. Before Samuel stood the apparitions of the deceased patients, their faces twisted in agony and despair. Their hollow eyes bore into his soul, pleading for help that he could not provide. Frozen in terror, Samuel watched as the spirits moved closer. Their ghostly forms passed through him, sending shivers down his spine. Desperate to escape, he turned to flee but found himself trapped within the suffocating grip of the building's supernatural presence. As the spirits closed in, Samuel's mind became a battlefield of fear and desperation. In one final act of defiance, he summoned the courage to confront the spirits. With a trembling voice, he pleaded for their forgiveness and vowed to honor their memory. In that moment, the atmosphere shifted. The spirits' anguished expressions softened, and their presence began to fade. The hospital returned to its eerie silence, as if the souls had finally found peace. Samuel, forever changed by the encounter, left the old mental hospital that night, vowing never to return. The stories of the haunted halls continued to be whispered amongst the townsfolk, a reminder of the tragic history that forever haunted the building. And so, the abandoned mental hospital remains a chilling reminder of the past, a place where the spirits of the tormented continue to roam, forever seeking solace and redemption.